BIP of Bizarre Interest Productions, and let's talk about Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Chapter 30, because thanks to fan translators, well, we got the chapter translated, and while obviously wait for the official release, I'm tired of waiting around because I have a lot of thoughts regarding this chapter, so here goes. We were told Mamushi could make about 30 clones of split versions, which we knew were going to be hard to beat, but yeah, Chocho Slam didn't do enough damage since they're able to pick themselves back up. To be fair, I know when the chapter gets officially released, people are going to be up Himawari's tail for trying to fire that tail beast bomb in that close of range, but I kind of have to give her guts for proactively trying to help out. But even better props for Shikadai using his new jutsu in order to trap them all in a sphere-like prison. My only problem is that we don't know exactly which jutsu it is because a possession is usually one big strand of shadows, and in the anime we have seen Shikadai be taught Shadow Pull, which later explained how Shikadai was able to use Field, and in the anime and the manga he's using Strangle Jutsu before. My best guess is that this is either a combination of net and pull, where the net part traps him in, while with pull it creates all the extra strands, or this is title switching and he's using it in a different way than his father. What someone is going to point out, we don't see the side characters grow or train, but this is kind of the same thing as Shippuden. A lot of the characters either trained or got upgrades off screen because they aren't Team 7 and they've had about 2 to 3 years of training. But yeah, I've seen people get upset at Shikadai for the way he was talking to Himawari, and he could have been a little bit nicer, but he is honest and he does have the most experience in terms of leadership. She actually could have killed civilians if she wasn't careful, but it's not like she had any bad intentions of doing so. Plus, mad props to Chocho for just yeeting Mamushi's clothes up in the sky like that. Also, I need to find it, but someone did a fan color art and Chocho's skin was not only lighter, hair was made yellow when the original color was brown, which could have been an honest mistake or someone really using AI when they shouldn't have. But yeah, that's kind of something to talk about. Then we have Inojin discussing that Mamushi's numbers have increased more than Koji was predicting. But to make matters worse, Kobu still wants to interrogate the Hokage, but Sai thankfully rushes in to confirm that Boruto and Shinju were reported being in the village, pointing out, maybe having the daimyo in just an interrogation center isn't the best place to keep an advisor safe when there's an invasion of monsters going around. And this isn't the writer's fault, but I love and hate how Kobu wants to figure out the person who is helping Boruto, but is really underestimating the threat level and just how dangerous of a situation he's actually in, and yet still wants to resume the investigation. Like, these guys have effectively kidnapped Sasuke and Moegi for their Echo Fighters to roam free. And yeah, Sasuke technically is in trouble for aiding a traitor, but based on the information logs, surely the fact that Moegi, one of your own Jonin, have been in prison while her Shinju was able to make Gaara seal himself and also turn Shinki to a divine tree, you'd think that he and the daimyo will take this more seriously. But I guess this is reflective of how real-life politicians will see a major danger that's affecting numerous citizens and not treat it as a big deal until it starts affecting people closer to him or people of their own kind in the thousands. And the Mamushi clones have reached at least above 100 roaming the city. You know, the most toxic places where people just have a hate boner for Boruto requesting why this was a big deal that someone like Mamushi was this serious of a threat seems laughable, but considering in one timeline he ate Himawari and Ada, yeah, they're gonna go feral if they get close to Ada. So it's better everyone else should be trying to defeat the clones before they can get to her. But keeping Delta around just to fly when, like, come on, have her help instead of just observing. But hey, to Sadara circle jerkers who hate her purely because she has feelings for a boy, she's ready to jump in to help until Shikamaru actually demands everyone hold on, since despite the scope, Mamushi hasn't hurt anyone unless it's the ninja's case where they attack him. But before he can tell anyone the plan, Kobu calls since his orders are the direct will of Daimyo Ikkyu Madoka himself. And I can understand from the political aspect that, yeah, right now, sure, being that you're a leader isn't colluding with someone that they think is a bad guy is understandable. However, priorities of the village being attacked takes much bigger incentive, but hey, he'll pay that price later. But Koji tries to relate to Inojin the situation. Boruto and Shikamaru try to talk, but young Pikachu gets roped and restrained by the police force. And I think Nishi, but Sumire's upgrade causes the sword to drain its chakra, which is a nice nod to the chakra saber's weakness, and shows exactly why Boruto had Sumire make those upgrades. But Boruto manages to escape, but now you have a bunch of Mamushi clones casually looking throughout the city, even like one scaring a girl. Most likely because the real Mamushi was too busy reading too many dirty magazines ahead of time. But Shikamaru leaves, putting Inojin in charge, which I'm sure is going to work out great. But Shikamaru points out despite Inojin's worries, there are still Mamushi clones swarming around the Hokage's office. But that's when Koji offers to keep his toad in his pocket, but also tells Inojin to drop the transmission for a while. And Inojin's like, well, what about the transmission? But Kashin Koji's got a different plan. So, Shikadai and Kobu finally meet face to face, and he's trying to point out the enemy is in the village. And Kobu's still defiant about losing his job as Kage, claiming he was the first suspect in releasing Boruto, but Kobu calls him out for being transparent and almost never having his hunches wrong, but still needs to gather evidence, threatening Shikamaru just to expose the truth. That's when Kashin and Inojin use his plan and has Inojin bust out mind transfer jutsu, a jutsu we've only seen him use in the anime so far, something none of us predicted, and catches Kobu in it through the eyes of the toad. And Inojin absolutely bombs this by saying Papa the moment he sees Sai's face, with Koji taking the toad to hot from Shikamaru underneath the table to Kobu, with Inojin claiming in Kobu's voice that he needs to get some air. So Kashin guides Inojin to the roof, where Kashin says that the plan is to end Kobu's life. And everyone in the community is just here like, what? Like, nobody is expecting this at all. And Sai is rightfully pissed off, not only because he's putting the pieces together on the fact that Inojin used mind transfer jutsu, but is actively concerned and reasonably concerned on what Shikamaru is even making his own son do. So, what's Kashin Koji's plan? Well, basically, have Kobu's life end in any way or form. Either by Inojin using his body to jump off the building, having Mamushi attack Kobu, anything, because, well, Kobu is in the way of everyone and anyone on the villager side, but Koji's forgetting Inojin's a kid. Even with the anime, the new generation hasn't killed that many people. Every conflict they've had resulted in someone either being defeated, arrested, or their opponents killing someone that they fought. As much as the Inojin slander and agenda haters are going to come out swinging, seriously, some of y'all really need to chill with the whole genetics nonsense. Yeah, this one I can't exactly blame the kid for being hesitant on. And to make matters even better, Mamushi shows up asking for Ada's whereabouts. Kashin Koji's toad mouth opens up, and either through genjutsu or a sound jutsu, the clones start mentally deteriorating, giving Inojin time to make the choice. And on that bar on the left side of the page, the question becomes, well, one can't be choosy when fulfilling goals. What will Inojin do? Will he act upon rationality or morality? So this chapter is basically insane, and this builds up on a lot of the previous chapters' lore and setup. First up is Himawari's skills as a ninja. Her naivety gives her the motivation to be more proactive, especially thanks to being a leaving Biju, but she's hindered by her lack of experience and knowledge on needing to control her powers better, which is basically the inverse of Team 10. Hence why with their experience, Chocho and Shikadai are able to make up for her shortcomings. And Kobu's unnecessary annoyance. Political intrigue is something Naruto fans have asked for a long time and then act hypocritical when you point this out, since they don't want to assume anything about Boruto can be at least interesting in some degree. But Kobu's assertiveness rivals the conviction of certain ninjas that you can argue is similar to Himawari, early Boruto, and Kawaki. All stubborn and defiant in their convictions, and while we know he's right, actively him and the Daimyo just making things harder for the heroes in the long run. The question becomes exactly how will these actions affect his output, because if Shikamaru's way works out and Inojin is separated from Kobu, he's directly in the firing line of the Mamushi clone, so he'd be able to witness the conflict firsthand. If Kobu is attacked and turns to a tree, that removes him as an obstacle, but who knows how Madoka will act. If Kobu survives, how will the heroes going to trick him? Have Shikamaru make a farce out of everyone attacking Boruto to leave? And if Kashin Koji's plans to kill Kobu works out, then what then? Will the Daimyo consider it a failure on the village, or will Shikamaru turn it around to claim Kobu didn't listen and died out of arrogance with not listening to them? His fate leaves a solid cliffhanger, since it's ultimately Inojin's role to decide. And this is big for Inojin's character. He's been a secondary star of this arc so far, with Shikamaru and Kashin Koji making him center stage after all these actions. And this is a tough situation for any teenager, especially in Naruto's world, to navigate. The possibilities are endless. Let Kobu die. Let Kobu live. Use mind transfer jutsu on the clones and free Kobu, but injure him enough to make him seem like it's a credible threat. Fight Mamushi and try to make him stop reaching Ada or Himawari. It's all a tough decision that's going to be interesting to watch unfold based on how the new chapter presents his actions. But hey, we got ninja tactics and espionage, subterfuge, characters making mistakes they have to learn and adapt from, ninja tactics, everything people say Boruto doesn't have because Naruto stopped being about ninjas. Right, Naruto fans? Anyway, thanks for watching. Try to get this video to 20 likes and I'll do more Naruto and Boruto content. I'm still thinking about doing that debunking Naruto and Boruto's world building video as well as the Sadara AI outfit drama. But that ultimately depends on how well these videos do. I guess if you made it this far, type Naruto's Legacy in the comments. That's it for me. And BIP of Bizarre Interest Productions. Stay bizarre. Signing off.